right, welcome to another episode of FreightFM, lucky number 13 actually. My name's Emily Smith. I work here in the marketing department, also joined with Harry and Owen. We're going to talk a lot kind of on the domestic side of things, kind of holiday trucking, volumes, capacity, consumer spending, and the impacts that all has. So kind of diving deep into consumer spending, especially during this holiday season. I feel like there's a lot kind of going on what's going to happen, what will or what won't, and of course we will never know until the end of holiday season. But some forecasts are kind of showing that there won't be a surge in demand this year, which seems fairly likely to be the case. Personally, I kind of feel like there won't be too much of a change this holiday season, but it's possible that things maybe will increase or decrease. But Harry and Owen, I kind of want to get both of your guys' thoughts, but what are you guys kind of hearing on this matter with consumer spending?
Yeah, I think I've more or less seen the same stuff, Emily, with you, and I would say, I have a lot of parallels with what you're saying to what you're forecasting. It seems like there's a lot of inventory, is what I'm always hearing about, and how, I heard things earlier in the year like, retailers are getting rid of their inventory faster than we thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, we're still having the same conversation about an inventory glut or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like that conversation keeps coming back and forth. And
Yeah, I mean, everybody I've talked to is over COVID, it was such a problem getting stuff in here, and they felt a bit snake bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's been spread out a lot more.
Yeah.
Bringing things in from overseas, and it's not all coming in now in November. People have been proactive because they don't want to see their freight get stuck on a trailer again.
Mm-hmm.
But then also the economy, it always has to, a lot of it has to do with that, supply and demand. So when there is not as much demand in the economy, the supply also reflects.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a double dip, and
Yeah.
you're always going to see increased prices in the end of this November, but I don't see it being as much as it nearly has been.
Yeah, and I think too that what makes the consumer spending this holiday season kind of tricky too is I still feel like we still weren't in a rhythm this year with like a traditional peak season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. I guess we could go on about that, but like it just seems like 2023 it's become a little more. It felt like things have kind of eased a little more, which they have, but like it was Owen brought up. I still think we're sort of we've learned these new behaviors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're paranoid. I don't want my freight to be stuck somewhere, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just these patterns, supply and demand. It may not seem as black and white as it used to be, probably. So.
Well, yeah, it's like I said, people feel like they got snake bit, right? Like if you traditionally brought things in November for that holiday season, and you tried to execute on that during COVID, at a much higher rate, it was just blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't sell product when it's sitting on a trailer.
Yeah.
So I think everybody's like, hey, I'm willing to bring it in earlier to not go through that again.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go through that again. And it's
Yeah.
like, hey, I'll take the extra added cost, whatever it is, to have it here a month early.
Mm-hmm.
We'll kind of talk about like the future more on like the trucking side of things here in a little bit too, but this was kind of interesting. I did see an article the other day from CNBC, which was kind of talking about the holiday spending outlook. And then we'll move on kind of from this, but they posed a question in one of their October supply chain surveys that they conducted, and it was about how do truck visits from the warehouse to big box retailers for the holidays compared to last year. And there are three things in the pie graph that it broke it down, and 40% of the survey respondents said that they think it'll remain flat or unchanged. 40% weren't sure what was going to happen, and 20% of the respondents said that they think it'll go up by 3%. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I feel like it also kind of summarizes how we're all feeling with the holiday outlook, and it's really kind of like a toss-up of what it could or could not be.
Yeah,
So.
that 40% too, the 40% uncertain, That really surprised, like that just, wow, you know, it's like.
Almost half of
Yeah.
people are just not sure what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
I find that we're all sort of can be diddling our thumbs sometimes with, you know, we sort of want to see this play out before we can make firm predictions. And I'm interested too, Owen, when we talk about the truckload stuff later, about your takes on that, because I feel like there's just a lot of, you know, uncertainty across transportation right now, just with, you know, what to make of, you know,
The volumes.
yeah, you know, what to make of that. How can we tie this all together into one big, neat picture? And that's sort of, I guess it's reflected in those, you know, that 40%, right? Of just uncertain and unsure. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you anticipate like seeing any type of oversupply of truck capacity kind of as consumer demand is kind of decreasing? Or what are your thoughts?
I mean, we already see it in the market. A lot more price sensitivity, which is always a direct correlation because it is so readily available. I mean, in terms of like the next couple months and even the winter, the big factors we look at in terms of trying to get a pulse on what it is going to be is, like I said, the economy. It's kind of stagnant right now, and like you said, we think it's kind of trending up. It might be trending down, but once that starts kicking back up, that'll start tightening things up. And then one thing that happens in the winter is weather.
I was just gonna bring that up too.
Yeah.
Also.
So if there's weather, if we get a snowstorm, and
we're in Minnesota, by the way.
Yeah.
It happens here. If they can't go into work that day, or somehow trucks get delayed a day, well, if you have a truck that was supposed to deliver Tuesday, now it's got to deliver Wednesday. Your Wednesday guys are still delivering Wednesday. It's craziness on Wednesday. Some people might even get pushed to Thursday. Well, then you effectively took 1 to 2 days worth of capacity for those trucks out of the market. So that tightens things up a ton. And the other thing is, if you see extreme weather in places that aren't as used to it, so we're used to it.
Like
Unfortunately, I don't want to say that I'm used to it, but it is cold and snowy here. Yeah, if you get a freeze down in Texas, or we saw a snowstorm in Atlanta, I think it was, or Georgia, North Carolina, well, then it locks stuff up for 2-3 days. Well, forget it, right? That's a week's worth of volume just gone. And then trying to get trucks in there and out of there is just a nightmare.
Yeah, or like with hurricanes too.
And then truckers say, hey, I know people are willing to pay top dollar to get me out of here, or to get me to go in and pick something up. So they're just going to start shopping to figure out what's the best rate that they can get, and that kind of sets the bar for everybody else.
So whether, that's always the wild card disruption possibly.
Yeah, I can't, if I could predict it, I'd be worth $1 bajillion, but.
Yeah, as far as like, I don't know, not that things are going to be smooth sailing ahead, obviously there are like weather and all those other variables. When do you see like things start of, I don't know, just picking up a little more, just sort of organically?
Picking up in terms of like tightening capacity? Or like the
economy, not necessarily like tightening capacity either, just like more of a healthy surge in demand possibly, or some sort of something to sort of stimulate that a little more.
I mean, I think that consumers and kind of like the general market trail behind consensus reports by like 3 to 6 months. So like we're starting to see stocks rise,
3 to 6 months from today.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, the consensus is the Fed's not going to raise the interest rates again. There's more of a positive outlook on the economy. So as they generate the positive outlook, or deem that there is a positive outlook, then everything kind of tracks behind that. So I would say, my personal opinion is I think we're headed in the right direction over the next 6 months.
We're starting to find a little more confidence.
Yeah, so a little bit more confidence. Yeah, I think everything after COVID is all shaken up. So
I like to think of it as sort of like a hangover, so
Yeah.
especially in our
that's-
industry, with like it was a wild ride. So
Oh, definitely. It'll be interesting, kind of like as we're kind of talking about like the future and next year, because I've been seeing stuff all over like what's 2024 gonna look like, and a lot of people are kind of saying, well, the first half it's probably not going to be as optimistic as like we kind of want it to be. It's probably going to be kind of similar to what the end of this year is.
Yeah.
But then the second half of 2024, that's where people are kind of feeling like it'll be a little bit more optimistic, maybe a little bit more normal of what things were like before, like the pandemic. As I know we're kind of in like a new normal now, but
And well,
I was
gonna just put a little plug in there. I kind of forgot to mention I know we said, hey, the capacity for the holiday rush, we're not seeing as big of a tightening as we usually do. But that being said, any tightening that we do see, we might see a couple, bumps up in rates and stuff like that, is gonna probably be coming out of port cities. So, there still is a little bit of a rush. I wouldn't say it's nearly as big as it had been. But if we were to see it, that'd be where it is. And then, come Thanksgiving time frame, the LTL carriers are down on Thanksgiving and then the Friday after. So everything shoots up for a couple days, because if you want to find the few people that do want to move stuff around on those days, then you got to kind of pay premium. So
yeah, and we should mention that again. Oh, and you said Thanksgiving LTL would
the
be.
Black Friday.
yeah, so Thursday, Friday, they're going to be shut down.
Yeah, but Black Friday, when retail's biggest holiday.
And Cyber
Get
Monday.
it done before then. Get it done before then.
Right. No, I know, it's interesting. I was also kind of looking at some information, and I know we'll wrap up here and stuff too, but just how like when are consumers starting their shopping this year compared to like when they're finishing, and a lot of it was showing like less than like 40% start shopping in like October. Of course, November is like the most like one of the more popular times, and then people typically like finish in December. But props to the people that do finish their Christmas shopping or holiday shopping or whatever it may be in like October or in November.
I haven't started mine.
I have a little bit.
I've not done a single thing.
Well, I remember there was it was National Retail Federation.
Yep.
It was their Halloween thing, their report, and they said it was a rise in people doing earlier shopping for the holiday. So even September they said for Halloween. So yeah, no, I'm in the same.
Maybe like a Starbucks holiday drink.
There you go. I don't know. I feel like the prime time to like shop for Halloween is the day after. Then you're already planned for next year when they have all like the 50% off deals and stuff like that.
I don't even know what I'm gonna have for breakfast tomorrow.
No, I know. But if you do, I mean, it is a good time to shop for those sort of things.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
But yeah, we can wrap up here.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything else. I wrote down a few notes.
I guess just to confirm quick, Owen, is there sort of, where would you say the trucking volumes could be this holiday season, like FTL and LTL?
Just as like a quick synopsis.
Yeah, like I know we touched on it briefly a little bit there, hinted at it.
Yeah, I think, will we see a tightening? Yes. Will it be anywhere close to what we've seen in the last couple of years? No shot. We're going to see a little bit of a bump everywhere, probably more so in the port cities. LTL, don't ship on Thursday or Friday of Thanksgiving. That'll be a big, or even over that time frame, because you're going to see instead of it taking 3 days to get to your place, it's going to take a week because they're going to shut down. I mean, once it hits December, usually for the full trucks, it evens out. Like the end of November is really if I were to pick a specific time, that's when it would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sweet. Any
Cool.
other last remarks, guys?
No, this is my first time on here, so.
Yes, welcome.
FreightFM.
FreightFM, man. I'm in. Cool.
Sweet.
Well, just to formally close it, I guess, I'm Harry with Interlog.
Emily.
Owen.
Owen, the trucking expert here.
The trucking
Yes.
expert.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see you for next episode. Yeah, we look forward to. Please comment below if you have any questions or anything. So.
And shout out to Connie, one of our listeners,
Oh, yeah,
for some
Yes.
good suggestions, part of the inspiration for this episode. So we always appreciate when you guys let us know what you're enjoying of what you're seeing from us, and if there's anything that you want to hear, please let us know.
A lot of these are recommendations.
Yes. So thank you again, and it was good chatting with you both.